Well, James, here we are. I know you're probably going to have a little bit of a smile on your face because we witnessed kind of a team get decimated yesterday. And I think further proof to the fact that, yeah, it's not Antonio Conte's fault. It's not Jose Mourinho's fault. It's not Nuno Espirito Santo's fault. It's not Maurizio Pochettino's fault. There is something else that is going wrong at Tottenham Football Club. Stellini, who was obviously the assistant coach to Antonio Conte prior to him leaving, has now also been kind of unceremoniously fired as well. Ryan Mason expected to take over as a caretaker for the rest of the season for Tottenham Hotspur. What was your reaction to that game? I mean, Newcastle are a nice, up and coming football team, but that was embarrassing, wasn't it?
Yeah, the performance, Jack, was terrible. I feel a bit angry with Newcastle because they could have really put their foot on Tottenham's neck, and I feel like they kind of let Tottenham get off lightly. The fact that they scored 5 goals in 5 goals in 20 minutes, they could have got easily, Jack, another five more in the rest of the 70 minutes. But they again, I'm guessing it's hard to keep yourself motivated and constantly go, 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 go. But Tottenham overall, that was embarrassing, and to me, there's certain decisions that like you look at with football teams, just like the exact same thing with Chelsea. Oh, how can they sack Tuchel and then bring in Potter and then sack Potter after saying that that's going to be their guy? It's the exact same thing with Stellini in my eyes, Jack. Like, you got rid of Conte. Why keep his staff there? To me, think about it, what really changed? Yes, granted, there has been success with Stellini there, but to me, it makes no sense. And you're sacking a caretaker and bringing in another caretaker. Only Tottenham
Well,
can
and
do
James,
something like that.
do you have any upside or excitement about Ryan Mason? I
I,
I don't. Just in the same way that I have no excitement for Frank Lampard at Chelsea. I think it's the exact same kind of feel.
to me, I don't know why football clubs do this stuff. I really, really cannot explain. Tottenham claim, okay, there isn't much left of the season, and Jack, I call cap to that. When I'm actually going to pull up the Premier League table um right now, and like when I look at it, they're not far off top four. Let me just, it should take a bit of time. Wi-Fi, guys,
But
Wi-Fi is gonna be got bad. But Jack, me looking at it, Jack, they're 6 points off top four. Granted, Manchester United do have 2 games in hand, but Jack, if they go on a run, you win 6 straight games, you're in a position, Jack, to kind of do something,
I,
you
I
know?
hear I hear you, but I also think other teams around them have a game in hand. I think Spurs have their next game. I think is Manchester United as well, so a tricky game coming up. So for me, the season's over, and I think moving on to our kind of tier list that we've got set up here, um, James, what we need to do, I think, before we do this tier list, we need to have an honest, quick but honest conversation about what the expectations are for this Spurs team. Because let's be fair, this season, it was a title challenge. I don't want anybody now going, oh no, it was just top four. It was just top. No. The signings you made, the coach you have, the current players you had in your squad, this was a title challenge year. As we go into 2023, 2024, what is a reasonable expectation of Tottenham? And I'll start here. I think it's a Europa League spot. I think there
Uh,
are easily four better teams than Tottenham, and there might even be five, maybe six better teams. But I think the expectation or the challenge should be finishing top six.
I'm not the biggest fan of the word rebuild, Jack, but I think this is what Tottenham kind of need to do. Kind of need to take a step back, and they might need to concede a year, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but okay, experiment in a way and kind of really go from there, because it just seems like, Jack, look what they've tried. It's not like they
Right.
haven't tried. Jack, they've tried. They've had two of the best managers in the world yet today as their manager in Conte and Jose Mourinho, and it hasn't worked.
Yep.
Jack, it's the same core players that like they build on with your Eric Dyers, your Harry Kanes, your like you think about it, your Heung-min Son year after year, and you still get the same failure. We we mentioned it, and like we're gonna get into it. The best thing for Tottenham to do is technically just rip the heart out of the football club and
Yeah.
go from there. And Tottenham fans are always going to talk about Daniel Levy and all that sort of stuff. I get it. I get it. He good for Tottenham? No. Has
Right.
he been successful for Tottenham? People may say, look at the books. I don't listen. They don't listen. They don't pay me books. I don't see any money going in. Tottenham fans want to see trophies. And
Right.
unfortunately,
And that's the point. He's a very good executive, but do fans care about if you're a good executive? No. They want to see their first team win. That's what fans want. And the two don't marry up very often. Anyway, we'll get into it. The players that we don't want to waste any time on, I don't think we should. We'll just rattle through them here. Hugo Reis, I think it's time to move on. This has been, in my view, one of the most overrated goalkeepers of the last decade. So to me, it's time to move on from him.
Jack, I don't disagree with you. I think Hugo Lloris, I feel like he's been a great servant for Tottenham, like overall. And when he has been good, he has been good. But lately, Jack, goodness gracious me, hasn't looked like nice for him. And I feel like he's coming into that Joe Hart type of range where the game might be moving away from him a little bit.
Fraser Forster, much in the same way, purely due to age. I think you can find somebody who does the exact same job as Joe Hart for Fraser Forster for a cheaper wage, and maybe even from the academy, a decent prospect to back up a new number one. So I would say sell, move on as well from Fraser Forster.
Totally agree with you. I mentioned the ball being a bit fast for him, for Hugo Lloris. I feel like he's suffering even more from that. At a time, very good goalkeeper, but to me, you just got to get rid, just got to cash in.
Clement Longley, my initial kind of thought process is keep just bench, because again, I don't think this is a player that's good enough to be starting for a Spurs team for what they want to do. But this is an experienced professional who I think can do a job. So for me, on the bench. But what are your thoughts?
He is on loan, so I think he will be going back to Barcelona next season. So you have to take that into consideration, Jack. I've never been a big fan of him overall, and I feel he's been kind of hit and miss for Tottenham. Had good moments there, but I just don't think it's worked overall. Yeah, another sell. Not Jack. First of all, hasn't been looking good for Tottenham. It really has not been looking good yet.
But I think
three straight sells. Woo.
But I think we can agree that it is a cultural problem, and the culture bleeds into the players. So if the players are there, they're from the old culture. Now you'd have thought Mourinho, Conte, etc., would be able to change that, but they haven't. So this, James, this is where we are, and also this is fantasy land. We're under no restrictions here. We're going to do a Nottingham Forest, Ben Davies, again, to me, similar to Clement Longley, I would keep him around, but I would keep him on the bench.
He's been at Tottenham for a while, and Jack, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I don't believe that he's kicked on. I don't believe we've seen a development from him, from his first year at Tottenham to now. Jack, he is 32.
Right.
I possibly would let go. But
okay.
It's rather a bench or a let go here. Maybe because the sell is quite heavy right now. We can put him on the bench.
No, James, we need to be...
He's 30 years of age, and do you really see an improvement from him overall, Jack? I don't personally. I would put him in the sell category, Jack.
Thing is, off the bench, though, I think if you do have somebody who's been there and done it and is experienced, I think there is value to that.
But Jack,
I don't mind selling him either.
Tottenham. Been there and done what for Tottenham?
Right. Yeah, let's sell. Davinson Sanchez. I always have I think he has good upside and good development, but I feel like I haven't really seen it.
I like Davinson Sanchez as a defender, but he also has that Upamecano type of switch where when he hits that self-destruct button, goodness gracious me, it can be a disaster. Yeah, Upa Maguire. I feel like Tottenham signed him for big money, and Jack has had good moments at Tottenham. This notion Tottenham fans are going to look at, he hasn't been good lately. He's had good moments for Tottenham, but overall, has he kicked on and became that centre back that they thought that he was going to be? Because Jack, remember him and Matthias de Ligt at the time there, and people were saying this guy's better. We haven't seen that development from him. Personally, I just want to bring up, I just want to find his age right now, Jack. But
25.
If I'm being honest, Jack, 25 years of age, Jack.
I think. Yeah.
Wait. Let me just make sure. Yeah, Jack. He's 26.
26.
Personally, Jack, I don't think I don't think Spurs fans respect him, which is a sad thing. We've seen what happened with the recent performance. Gotta put it in the cell, Jack. Goodness gracious.
Dude, look, but James, facts are facts, right? This is not a real life scenario. You and me are not in control of this. It's just what Spurs should probably be looking at doing on a player by player basis. Eric Dyer, again,
Sell.
I like the spirit of the guy. I like the versatility. I like all this stuff. But James, again, you just talked about it. How many times have we seen a quote unquote rebuild or a new manager come in where he's been a centerpiece and they've all gone the same way? So I tend to agree with you. He's got to go as well.
Nice.
Interesting one
Thanks for
here.
This is 29
Uh,
years of age, Jack. Whew.
James, I'm just saying, like, this is where we are. Pedro Porro. I've liked some of the stuff that he's done. I don't know if he's ready to start for what I would ideally want out of a starting Spurs 11, but I have seen some upside and some fire. And I think that maybe this would be a good guy to keep around, maybe on the bench.
To me, it has to be a keep. He's only been there. He has been there for less than 16 16. I mean 6 months. So it's a keep. To me, keep start. Possibly haven't seen much of him yet, Jack, but keep to start.
Emerson Royale. Kind of an up and down figure here. I wonder what the kind of dealings are. Latest news I think I saw was how his dad was saying he should be playing for a club like Real Madrid, and Emerson Royale came out and said, "No, I'm happy at Tottenham." Like Real Madrid was a serious consideration for him. What do you think?
I feel like he's been a big scapegoat for Tottenham fans, Jack. I know a lot of
I
Tottenham
agree.
fans. I speak to a lot of Tottenham fans, and the way that they speak about this guy, the disrespect that they do speak about this guy. For me, for his own good, because I don't think he's been as bad as Tottenham fans make him out to be. They just love Tottenham. They want one thing I hate about Tottenham fans is that they love to pick out someone. And like no matter what's going on, he will always be that punching bag. And it seems that he's the one again. Personally, I'll sell for his own good.
Yeah, man,
And to be
doing
fair,
him
I
a
don't think
favor.
he's been that bad. No, but just the way Jackie, the way Tottenham fans speak about him,
Yeah, I'm
sometimes
with
I'm
you.
like, he hasn't been that bad.
Japhet Tanganga, James, centre back, obviously through the academy. This one, to me, I think, especially with the wages he'd be on, I think that's a smart one to keep and just keep on the bench.
Um, Again, a guy that I remember, I think he made his debut against Manchester City, Jack, and think he got a standing ovation. I think he was named man of the match in that game. Um, very good that day. And to me, it's just been this wave of what is he? Is he Jack? Is he a fullback? Is he a centre back? When will he really get his opportunity? The upside's there for the fact that like, Jack, he is a young guy. Personally, Jack, I'm gonna keep put him on the bench and see can he kick on as a Tottenham player.
Christian Romero, always capable of errors, not really necessarily the best performer, but he does have fight, he does have attitude, and under the right coach, I think he can be used beautifully. Again, I don't know if the mistakes will allow him to do that. We know about his ability to get yellows and reds as well.
Um, yeah, Jack. To me, the attitude of like when to tackle, when not to tackle, and just his overall discipline is a big issue. Because Jack, he is a good defender. I don't think he's as great as
Right.
the way Tottenham fans talk about him, but he is a good defender. I keep to start, but I don't know how much his heart is in it because he's probably looking at I'm a World Cup winner. Listen, I'm that guy to a certain point, but to me, keep to start.
Ryan Sessegnon, sell for me. This I was always really excited for him when he was at Fulham, and I thought, wow, we really have a really good attacking wing back or an attack, or maybe a really attacking in a back four type fullback. But James, he's a tweener, right? He's in between positions. There is actually legitimately no position on the football pitch that, in my opinion, suits him and would get the best out of him. A really defensive left winger or a really, really attacking fullback. It's, both of those things don't really exist for the quality and caliber of team that he would need to be playing for. They always have better alternatives. So to me, better to just cut ties at this point and sell.
I feel like he's had moments, but never really grasped a moment. I've never looked at Ryan Sessegnon and go, man, for 6 months or even a whole season, Ryan Sessegnon has held a place down in the Tottenham team. It's been here, there, injuries, all that sort of stuff there. And I think with him, he needs, like, to me, just a new bit of scenery for him. The best
Yeah.
thing for him and the club is to sell, personally.
Perisic, great player, legend of the game. Some might even say, but sell. Time's coming to an end. Father, what was it? Father Time is undefeated, right? And he's coming for you. Perisic, I'm afraid. So James, for me, that's a sell. Was brought in to help win a league title this year, and it's not happened. So objective failed, I think.
Yes, but I personally, Jack, wouldn't sell. I genuinely
Okay.
think that he could be like a good squad player from Jack from the point of view. Talk about experience, talk about understanding of big games. Jack, this guy's played Champions League, big Champions League semi-finals. Played for Bayern Munich, Inter Milan. Played in a World Cup final. I just for the overall morale and understanding of like big games, I'll keep him in there. But sell keep is
Um,
he kind of tweens between both.
Skip, not good enough for a bench, not good enough for a start, surely.
Ooh, Jack, I per listen. I feel you, but I'll be nice to the guy. He like he's a typical English type of guy. Passion, aggression, works hard for the badge, all that sort of stuff. Academy, we know how much English they love their passion and aggression. Merchants, not a bad player. I don't think he's going to make Tottenham anything great. I think he's had decent performances, but um, for me, bench. If I'm being
Um,
honest.
we got Pape Sarr next. Now, obviously, we don't know a great deal about him. Still only 20 years old. Only made his debut in January of this year. Obviously, signed from Metz and then went back, I believe, on loan for a season or at least half a season. Um, to me, it's time to give somebody else a chance. A rebuild means we need to build from somewhere. And if there's faith and there's promise in this guy, I'm not saying he starts, but maybe this is a guy that needs to be kept around at least on the bench.
Oh yeah, yeah. Again, I haven't seen too much of him. Jack, I think you said he's 20,
Yeah,
like or so. Yeah. So to me, give him time.
Højbjerg, starter. I love Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. A proper man crush for me. Again, doesn't do anything brilliantly well, but he's a 7 out of 10 across all categories of his game. I think he's great and should start. Captain material for me.
I I look at the complete opposite of it, but you need these type of guys in your team. I'll personally bench him, but start bench.
We got to start somebody.
Eat.
James, Yves Bissouma, how's that panned out in your opinion so far?
This is what makes me feel a certain type of way when people talk about Moises Caicedo, because Basuma was Caicedo before for me before Caicedo hasn't kicked on at Tottenham, but maybe it's the first year with a settled manager. Maybe he can get going. Put him on the bench for now and like see what see what can build. He's only been there for a year, so
Um,
just relax on that.
I'm I must have missed this player when doing my tier list and my template, so I do apologise for everybody watching. It's not going to have the perfect visual. Rodrigo Bentancur. We know how much of a man crush I have on
Star.
him. Guy is quarterback territory on the football field under the right manager. He has major inconsistency to his game, but he can do some stuff that not very many people in the world can do. So on his game, he starts.
Jack, can we just fly past the next two?
Yeah.
Kulusevski, keep
Start.
start.
Yeah.
Lucas Moore has been there for ages, and we clearly know where he's at right now.
Time to
So
move on.
you don't really need to speak about him.
Richarlison, we're going to keep and start, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the kind of two interesting ones, this is where we can spend a bit more time. Heung-min Son, James, what would you do here? It's been a down year, so you either need to double down or you need to make your money while you can.
Let me see how old he's. Jack, he's 30 years of age. I think he still he signed a recent contract with Tottenham, but 30 years, if you can get a 60, 70, he's a top player, but I would sell Jack. If you can get certain type of money for him, I would listen. I would consider it. First of all, 30 now in football means nothing. He could
Right.
still go, but maybe okay. You know what it is. Let's keep Son. Keep start Son.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, James, for me, under the right manager, a Kulusevski, Richarlison, Son front three is still so dangerous and so exciting. So I'm good on that. Here's the big one. Harry Kane. To me, this is a no-brainer. This is a sell. This is a sell. You're not going to win a league. I don't even think you're going to win. You're going to make a top four. You're sitting on a player who could be worth 100, 120 million euros to the right buyer. And there are buyers out there for this guy. He's been amazing for you. Let him go and achieve what he wants to achieve at a team that can actually do it. Reinvest the money in younger players to revamp your squad. This, to me, is I know it seems silly to some of you out there, especially Spurs fans who I'm sure love Harry Kane. This is such such a no-brainer. Sell him. He's not signing a new deal. I promise you, he's not signing a new deal. Get the money while you can. Because do you really want to let Harry Kane leave for free? I don't think so. Sell, sell, sell.
Jack, Harry Kane's been there since day one. He's been the longest serving player. I think him and Hugo, Lloris, and it's clear to me. Get rid of and just restart a whole new trend. I think he's been a cloud over the Tottenham's head, and not in a bad way. Yeah, but to me, in like recent times, it's been, oh, Tottenham ain't doing well. Kane deserves better, and sometimes it kind of wanes on the club. If I'm being truthfully honest, it's been a great servant for them. But Jack, you mentioned it, sell, and to me, that's just an absolute no brainer.
Guys at home, I know this is a bit cutthroat, but James and I are telling you, it's not Mourinho's fault. Okay, it's not Antonio Conte's fault. It's not Espirito Santo's fault. It's not Pochettino's fault. Tottenham are kind of running out of excuses here, and the only way to make massive change is to blow it up and start again.
I mean, they did get signed as managers. They do take a little bit of blame. I mean, they all take a bit of blame, but
To me, though, you can't have that many good managers through the door and then say that, oh, all of these amazing managers have been bad, right? You know what I mean? Like Mourinho at Roma, we're seeing it. Conte's next team, I guarantee you, he's going to have some see that. I'm just putting that out there. But anyway, we've blown it up. We've sold a lot of players. We've kept 7. There's a little Rodrigo Bentancur picture that's not in there. We've got 5 guys who are there on the bench, and we're getting rid of the vast majority of the squad. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. How many of these have we gotten wrong? How many have we gotten right? James, anything else from you, mate?
guys, Tottenham fans, let us know what's going on with Tottenham overall. Stellini, will Harry Redknapp come back? Let us know, and who's going to be the next Tottenham manager. And also, all right, guys, who should keep, who should sell, who should bench? Comment down below. Let us know. This is Box to Box Football. Like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Come on, Arsenal.